When the universe calls, will you answer? I doubt you're going to get a caller ID. What did you do in the past? Was there a time when maybe something magical was there in your life? What did you do? Did you respond to it? Did you connect with it? Did you even recognize it was there? Today I want to discuss how often we might miss those magical moments in our life and maybe even forget how we once were connected to it. Hi, I'm David Greenwood of Your Life in the Now, where we help you to move forward, understanding practical spirituality and how it can help you to not only enjoy your life, but to break through into an even more amazing life, an amazing you that you were meant to be. So the universe calls, what did you do? Let's take a few moments and let's talk about your early life. Let's take this exploration with me, this little journey, and let's talk about some of the magic that you may have encountered in your life. Let's focus on your early life. If you have children or you've done any studies, we talk about how children are these magical beings. They're open, they're absorbing everything, and they seem to be connected on a way that we as adults have somehow lost. Their imaginary friends, their imagination, their creativity is amazing. Their wisdom is there, and they see things entirely differently than we do. Even respond to life. I've seen so many programs with poor children with cancer, and they're just amazing beings. What happened to you when you were growing up? Did you have opportunities to explore something magical? I'm hoping in your early life, when we're in what's called the inner child phase, made popular by John Bradshaw quite a while ago, the inner child is that part of you, that young, vulnerable, creative, open part of you, your young child that has just come into the world and is starting to be self-aware that life can be just amazing. What was your life like your first 5 years? Do you remember any of it? Now, sometimes I work with people that don't remember the first 16 years of their life. But most of us probably had some kind of cognition around 3 years old, 4 years old, maybe 5. I remember being 3 years old in Disneyland. I'm going to date myself here, but I was there for the opening year at Disneyland. I was 3 years old, and you better believe I remember walking around, and some of those things are still there. The first ride back when I was 3 years old, when Disneyland opened in 1955, I think it was, something like that. The jungle ride was there, where the hippo comes up and the boat guy, the guide, would shoot the hippo in the mouth and it would disappear in the waves. Or the Dumbo ride. They had a train that went around the perimeter that I remember, and it had some dinosaurs here and there and other things, but that's my first memories back, and it was pretty magical. Disneyland is a magical place. What a great place to start out your life. I remember my first movies that I saw when I was about 5 years old. We went to a drive-in movie theater in Bremerton, Washington. And the first movies I saw were Bambi and the Ten Commandments. Pretty opposite. I love those movies even today. But those were magical in many ways. Bambi was magical, so was the Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston. I don't remember exactly the year I saw them, but I was young, and it did have a really nice effect on me. So how about you? What did you see? What did you do when you were younger, when you were growing up? What was it that influenced you? Family life, of course. Some of you had very difficult lives. Horrible things happened to you. Other people had just amazing, comfortable lives. Most of us were somewhere in between, with parents that really cared about us, but may or may not have known how to be the best parents. Yet still we survived. It's like those country western songs. They talk about, we used to ride in the back of trucks. We used to drink water out of our garden hoses. We used to go out every day for the entire day and then come back at night. I mean, life was different when we were growing up than it is for many people today, for many of the kids today. So what were some of the best moments of your life growing up? Were they magical? Because I think you're going to find that the magic that comes in our life really is very connected to that spiritual perspective that we have. That there's something beyond us, beyond the human-made world that we live in. Because if we get caught up in just focusing on the things that we have created here, we're going to miss a lot. There's very little things sacred that we have created, actually, in that regard. It's connecting with nature that really allows us to reconnect with a deeper sense. That's why people go out into the woods. It allows them to be in a place, a stillness, a quietness where we're open to our spiritual nature. So what worked well for you? I was able to spend quite a bit of time playing in the woods, riding bikes, playing tag, doing things like that. It really did help to create, for the first 10 years of my life, a fairly magical upbringing. I was very fortunate in that regard. What did you do? I mean, do you remember what it was like? Sometimes I wish we could go back and just jump in for about 5 minutes into different ages and get a sense of what life was like, what we were thinking, what we were feeling. I think we'd be amazed at how different we are now. How we've lost so much of that creativity, that magic. And that's one of the reasons I want to help you recapture that, because that is the essence of that spiritual nature as well. That true you, that creative, imaginative you, the amazing you. So think about those first 16 years of your life when you were very open and receptive. That's how we learned, both good and bad. Some positive, some negative things. The negative things are really learning experiences, but they sure seem negative at the time. Now, of course, we all had challenges. We all had difficult things that we went through. Oftentimes, when I work with clients, they've forgotten all the positive things that have happened. And it's oftentimes very good to go back and remember that we had many, many times of positive experiences. It just gets blotted out by the subconscious that just focuses on doubt, worry, and concern. And it blocks you and keeps you from remembering that. That's why I want you to take this little stroll down memory lane with me and just begin to see whether you didn't have better times than you thought, whether you had these wonderful experiences that really were there to support you. And then when you moved into your early 20s, it's usually a time when we're very open and creative and getting out there and doing new things, new relationships, new jobs, moving, traveling, doing things, or maybe you didn't have that opportunity. But along the way, there was always a chance of connecting with something else, something deeper, something more amazing. Did you have that chance? Did life come and knock at your door? Did you answer? If the universe is calling, you're not going to get a caller ID. But if you're open to it, it will take you places that you never dreamt possible. So as we move throughout our life, whatever your age is now, please be open to reconnecting with something that is deep within you, that will change your life for the better. Now, I was fortunate enough to be very interested in science growing up. At the same time, I was interested in spiritual issues. Went to Presbyterian church and went to Sunday school and loved the stories of Jesus and all the rest. I didn't really get into the religion as much as I did into the people as much and appreciate. And to this very day, Jesus, to me, when I watch a movie on Jesus, I'll still cry almost. I mean, it's moving. About junior high age, I got more interest in reincarnation and karma and things like that, and had some wonderful experiences. And that spiritual perspective stayed with me throughout my life. So I was fortunate in some ways to have a scientific perspective on one hand and a spiritual on the other. It taught me that you can't always name the experiences you have. The scientific method tells you that you can't jump to conclusions based on what other people tell you. No, that's not it. And what I learned after a while is that you have to learn to trust yourself. We can follow others up to a point. They can help guide us, but after a while, you've got to go on your own path, be a light unto yourself. And in doing so, you open up and connect in amazing ways. And that's when I learned that I had to do emotional growth work. I had some really wonderful experiences, but they didn't last because my ego was just too strong. It didn't want to connect with that level, that experience, that life calling, and it tried to shut the door on it. After doing the emotional growth work, and I was 40 years old when I did it. I didn't do it at a young age. I wish I had, but hey, that's just the way it was. So after doing that, it opened me up in so many ways, and I began to realize healthy emotions were the key to spirituality. Because when you had a healthy emotional nature, and again, nobody's perfect, of course I'm not, but I was healthier, and allows your subconscious to become healthier. And the old resistive negative subconscious continues to fade away as the positive you get stronger. And like we talked about during some of the other explorations, having a healthy self, a healthy ego, a healthy subconscious is in alignment with the you that you're meant to be and allows you to do many wondrous things. So I found, without me even knowing it was going to happen, that my mind became quieter, a stillness. Now before, my analytical mind as a scientist, I couldn't meditate to save my life. My mind was always going, chattering endlessly. But after going through the emotional growth work, I find that my mind has gotten quieter and that chattering has slowed down. So that now, if I just stop talking, there's silence, there's stillness. And in that stillness, in that silence, there is this palpable energy, this amazing presence, this force, this energy. I have no idea. Again, as a scientist, I would not jump to conclusions to say what it is. It's there. This is what I want you to experience. Everything I do is to move you into a place where you're open, you're healthy, and you too will experience what's there. It's like the sun. It has nothing to do with me whatsoever. The sun is there. When you experience the sun for yourself, you don't need somebody else to tell it to. You can feel it, you can sense it, you can see the benefits of it. It's the same with this, whatever this is. This is why people meditate, to connect with it. Again, it has nothing to do with me whatsoever. My job literally is to take away what's blocking you from experiencing this, to help you resolve the negative subconscious, the worry resistive conditioned mind that keeps you from connecting with this otherness, this presence. When that happens, you begin to experience it for yourself. That's what I want. And then you're going to see that you trust yourself, you move forward. Again, everybody can do this. It's there. It's like the sun. It's there for everybody. The only thing keeping you is yourself. And the you that's stopping you is your own subconscious mind. It doesn't want to let go of control. It doesn't trust an unknown force. It wants to be concrete and analytical and stay with that. It's up to you to decide, but I think you're going to find that when you do that emotional growth work, and all that means is that you help resolve old issues to create a healthier subconscious, a healthier ego. When that happens, you will find that life will come calling. It's always there. Krishnamurti, who's kind of a mystical teacher that I learned to connect with many years ago, used to say, it's always there waiting for you to just open up to it. It's that easy and that difficult, because to open up to it means you have to have a mind that is inquiring, that isn't based on the ego in that moment. It is pure energy, and it is presence and perception and awareness. And when that happens, it's there naturally. You don't have to go for it, you don't have to struggle for it, you don't have to do anything. It's a being space. Now, there's a lot more to this, obviously, than what we're going to talk about here. But to be able to experience that once will change your life forever. It lit a flame within me when I was 19 years old that kept me going through the rest of my life. My ego would try to avoid it, keep away from it, run from it, and it would always guide me gently back to help that healthier part of me to continue to move forward, trying always to find a way. And finally, I did find that way, that pathway, and that was the emotional growth work that really helped me and will help you to free yourself from that conditioned, resistive mind that keeps you stuck, keeps you worried and afraid, keeps you from connecting with this amazing presence. I mean, I wish I could find better words to describe it. Every time you connect with it, and those words don't really capture what you do, but it's just there. It's different. It's real. It's like you're entering into a space that is the reality, is the truth, whatever. And then we come back to this, made of man and womankind. It's just not it. This is just a shadow of the reality that is there. Someone once said, It's like you spend time hovering in a corner, worshiping this little candle when the sun is behind you. It's there all the time. Yet so few of us know how to get there. I didn't know how to get there until I was able to be fortunate enough to be led to the work because I really wanted it. And because I had that experience, that flame was lit within me, that helped guided me to that. I didn't know that emotions were the key to spirituality. Being a typical guy, I'd always say, emotions, they're irrational. Mom had emotions, she was irrational. Dad, in control, analytical, I'll choose dad. And I did. Big boys don't cry, guts up, don't show your feelings. We're taught that as men. We're not taught emotions. Even though we might be sensitive, we're meant to subvert them and hide them. Well, I had to recapture mine, to bring mine out, to reclaim them in order to heal them. And it was worth it because it's just words. It's unbelievable the difference. My life started when I was able to finally open up and connect and heal these wounded parts and to be in this presence, this moment. This is practical spirituality. I still pay bills. I still go to work. I still help people. I still do sports, do things I love to do, connect with people, have great relationships. This is life. This is having a healthy ego. At the same time, this energy, this presence is there all the time, blending with you. Sometimes you're just immersed in it. Other times you're active and it's just in the background. You're going to be unique. You're going to do it the way you're going to do it. Do it whatever you want, but just do it. Just connect with it. I think you're seeing the gist of this video is please take the time to try to just connect and feel that stillness of your mind. It comes when you're healthier, when your mind slows down. Now, my mind was not that healthy when I first experienced it, so I know you can do that too. But your mind has to be still, has to be quiet enough for you to begin to experience it. Meditation is a good start. That's why people meditate, to connect with this. And then keep moving forward. Please consider doing the emotional growth work. It really does work. There's many people that offer it. I offer it. Other people do as well. You can always find it on my website, yourlifeinthenow.com, or Greenwood Hypnotherapy, where we do the work. The idea is life is calling. It's always there waiting for you to wake up to it. Check it. Realize that probably in your past you've already heard its call or felt its touch or listened to it. Please consider once again putting it high in your list of priorities, along with all the other things you do, the reestablishing that connection with what is real, and you will find it will be there for you always as you continue to move forward through the rest of your life. This is David Greenwood. I look forward to talking with you next time.